Today we are going to look at how to create a BigQuery agent in order for you to be able to query your BigQuery tables without SQL, and more importantly for everyone else to query those without SQL, especially for non-technical people, so that they can use a natural language for your data sets, right? So the first thing is, and it's quite easy. It's quite easy. The first thing is that we do is we need to go to the Agents tab, which is located in BigQuery on this side. It also says agent, and if you go there the first time, it says enable conversational analytics, which of course we want to do. And we click on this, and now it says, okay, this needs to be enabled. For whatever reason, it's already enabled here, so I don't need to enable this. And once it's finished, we do need to reload, because Google doesn't automatically detect this. And once we reload, we hopefully have a bit of UI here, and it's there. So what we can now do is we can create an agent based on tables that we provide. So in this case, I can click on here, create an agent. I would say this is my order agent. So to query a database that's for orders, I can give it a description. I leave this for now because it doesn't add any value right now. And then we can give it knowledge sources. And one of the knowledge sources that we can give is, for example, a table. I can say I add a source, and then I take my table here, which is called orders granular, which is all the orders. I search for it, and then I take the one I want to look at, and below I say add. And once it's done, we have like the knowledge base in here, and we can already query the data. So in this case, I can say, okay, can you tell me how the platform distribution is for the past 30 days? And then it will analyze, and this will take a bit. Also, we can choose between fast and thinking. Generally, fast is already like pretty slow, so we have to wait in any case. And once it's finished with analyzing, you see there will be more context. It will show the SQL that's being executed, and so on and so on. And if everything now says running a query, which you can also look at. So it runs a query. Of course, everything is like not formatted, and you see, okay, it runs another query and does some things. And it's pretty smart, to be honest. Like this can give you quite a nice amount of insights without you having to look at the data. And you see like, okay, so just platform distribution, okay, we only have iOS. We have a couple of orders, and iOS dominance, okay, it's only iOS. Android has been inactive, okay, I see. And that's already like a nice insight. So what we can now do is we can, of course, add instructions. So just for our purpose, let's say always exclude Android orders when, or like always exclude Android orders in this case. So you see it's already refreshed because it takes now the context that I just wrote in here. And the next thing that we can do, and this is just a showcase that this will be taken as context, is we can show me the platform distribution of the sales, let's say. Okay, best case scenario, it will find something now for both platforms, and in the meantime, we'll also apply our exclusion on Android. Best case, it also mentions that it applies an exclusion on Android, but we don't hope for. So it says only, okay, in accordance with the instructions to always exclude Android orders, the platform distribution of sales, blah, blah. And of course, like platform distribution is 100%. But of course, you can get way more meaningful insights from this. I can also say, okay, what's the average order value on iOS? And it does its magic. So once we looked at the results here, it will hopefully give us this now. So you see average order value, can also return this without you having to write SQL for it. The next part is once we are finished with this, we can say, okay, I would like to save it. And we have a model that we can now publish. And publish doesn't mean you publish it for everyone, you just publish it in the project. once we have published this, nothing is going to happen. We are now getting asked to share. And of course, we would like to share. And that's the permission part, which is quite, let's say, interesting, because since the agent involves multiple different services, we need to, of course, like add multiple different principles to all sorts of places. The first place is, of course, that we would like to add one principle here, which is me with another address. And as I say, we want Gemini data user, something like this, data agent user. Let me quickly check, align with Gemini data analytics, data agent user. Yeah, that's of course, thank you. Which is, we press save. Problem is we can still not query the whole thing, because we now gave access to this specific agent, but we still need to give the person who we invite in a second the access to the agent interface in general for this project, but also access to BigQuery. And there are two things that we need to do on the ERM screen, which is we need to add my principal here, which is still the same. I need to add my principal here, and then I need to give it the BigQuery job user role, so that the user is able to start a job. So that doesn't mean you have access, it just like allows you to run SQL queries. But if you don't have access to anything, then of course like nothing happens. And the other part is we need to do the Gemini for Google Cloud user, so that someone can use Gemini here. Save both. And the final part that we have to do is BigQuery itself. We need to go back to BigQuery, and then we go for our table. We go for our table, and it will show up, and that's this one. Now what we can do is we can share this as well. We manage the permissions, and we want to give my principal access to be a data viewer for BigQuery, of course. We save this, and in an ideal scenario, we can now go back to our agent and go to the order agent, and we have to say, can we share it from here? No, we cannot share it from here. We go to edit agent, and we say we would like to now share the link to the data studio. And in an ideal case, I can now open a second browser. And I'm missing something here. Oh, I can now open the second browser, use the link, and with the user, of course, that's already authenticated, which I used. And now I can do the same here. So I can say, please give me the platform share for the last year, similar last year. And then if everything goes well, we don't get any errors, and it should work nicely. And in general, this is quite cool, because now you can not only use it here in the interface, you can also use your own interface and embed the agent, and have like users that have no idea what the database looks like, have no idea what SQL is, to query this. And this is very much empowering. Like I feel this is also quite nice, because you don't have much setup, right? So meaning that you don't need to manage the agent, you don't need to manage the context, because that's all under the hood in the knowledge sources for BigQuery. And it's quite nice. And if you would like to see more of these tutorials, or in general more about like senior business intelligence content for senior business intelligence people, then feel free to subscribe. And we just wait for the query to finish so that we can do the outro as well, which hopefully happens soon. Running query, he runs a query. Okay, so now he says, okay, for 2025, share percentage, of course, the same. Order counts is the same. Does he mention that requirement to exclude all Android-related transactions is still our requirement. But in general, that looks good. Looks quite nice. So if you'd like to see more, subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up. Always helps to spread the message on how things are working and make the business intelligent world more professional. Thank you very much and see you soon. Bye.